Imagine facing one of the most persistent and complicated challenges of your time, a problem fraught with conflict, injustice, and deeply entrenched issues. That is precisely the situation President Ulysses S. Grant inherited concerning Native American relations after the Civil War. President Grant reformed federal Indian policy primarily through his ambitious peace policy, launched in 1869. This initiative aimed to shift the nation's approach from military confrontation and removal to one of peaceful assimilation, guided by humanitarian principles and religious organizations. The core mechanism behind Grant's policy was the belief that Native Americans could become self-sufficient United States citizens through Christian instruction and agricultural education. He deeply distrusted the existing Bureau of Indian Affairs, which was notorious for corruption and inefficiency. Grant believed that by entrusting reservations and Native affairs to various Christian denominations, he could eliminate corruption, foster peace, and ultimately integrate Native American populations into American society. Implementing this vision involved several key steps. Grant appointed Quakers and other religious groups as Indian agents, replacing corrupt political appointees. These agents were tasked with overseeing reservations, promoting farming, and establishing schools. The policy also saw the creation of the Board of Indian Commissioners, an independent advisory body composed of philanthropists and religious leaders, designed to provide oversight and prevent fraud in the distribution of federal funds and supplies to reservations. A significant but often overlooked aspect of the peace policy was its emphasis on breaking down traditional tribal structures. The underlying goal was to dismantle communal land ownership and encourage individual landholdings, mirroring the American ideal of private property. While Grant genuinely sought an end to violence and advocated for treating Native Americans with justice, the policy simultaneously advanced a Euro-American cultural model, aiming to extinguish distinct Native American identities and lifeways. Ultimately, Grant's peace policy represented a sincere, if culturally flawed, attempt to reform a system riddled with corruption and conflict. It introduced a period of relative peace in some areas and saw a reduction in fraudulent practices on reservations. However, it also led to the forced relocation of many tribes onto reservations, the suppression of indigenous cultures, and continued encroachment on native lands by settlers and railroads. The policy's legacy is complex, showcasing a tension between humanitarian intentions and the devastating long-term impacts of forced assimilation on Native American communities.